Clips, clips.
And remember, citizens, always subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. And $19.95 plus shipping and handling will keep you out of hell. Hell! I nearly remember to do everything there apart from one audio stream off. But anyway, welcome, one and all. This is Ramblings of a Madman Mind. When it's getting muted everywhere, man. World War 3, motherfucker! Oh, sorry, World War 3, motherfucker! So, see when people say World War 3 to me, you know what I say? Oh shit, that didn't really work as well as I wanted. Cook steak. So, World War 3 or steak? How'd you like them apples? Anyway, so welcome. Ramblings of a Madman's Mind. Is World War 3 happening right now? Now, before we can go into the barrage of doom and gloom for every corner of the globe, I want to try and show, if possible. Anyway, remember, this is not the crack cocaine of social media. This is not your shittity talk or your YouTube shorts. This is a suppository. You stick it up your arse and it brings you down gently, like slowly. So, if you're looking for a quick fix, you ain't getting it. Is your concentration span bigger than a goldfish? Most of us don't have a concentration span anymore. It's gone. Thing of the past, but I've got an app for it. So, it's just a wee browse about what's going on out there. And this is just stuff that I pulled up within like sort of a 5-10 minutes. Easy peasy, man. Isn't even like... Well, remember, if you do enjoy this shit, stick a wee thumbs up. It's like a digital hug. I love it. This is like just a day's worth. But I don't know if you heard. Let me see if I can find this. Because there is so much crap. Where's the... Oh my god. There's already one being took down for whatever reason. Oh, here, this is what I wanted to show. This is what I wanted to show, actually. This is exactly what I wanted to show. So, I was getting shit together and I spotted on the BBC's tagline, Trump ahead in the polls. So, I stuck this in, and then you've got NPR 7 hours, Weekend Politics, Trump leads polls ahead of Iowa caucuses. Now, I ain't calling myself a clairvoyant, but I am. I'm not calling myself a clairvoyant, but I am. I'll give you a reading if you want. 1995! Shipping and handling. Oh, fuck. Hold on, I need to doctor this. Sorry for the late start. I was actually munching that steak, which I'm very proud of. But there's my Donald Trump bet for president. 13th of September 2022, motherfucker. Head of the game. Do you know what I got on him? If he 11 to 4. Yeah, the odds are a lot shorter now, motherfucker. To me, I see that's like, no, it's almost 13s. But anyway, I got a really good price on Trump. And it was with a £5 free bet. But hey, he's going to make me rich, baby. Whole 13 quid. This cunt comes in. So that's why I want Trump for president. But here's a weird scenario, which... Here's a weird scenario. And I don't know if anybody knows the answer to it. If a genuine, bona fide fucking balls to the wall war kicks off, is there still a presidential race? I mean, the anti-Trump mob could be actually motivated this is just pure speculation because I don't have I've never came across this ever. Fucking hell, man! The open these things. Have any? Is anybody else? Is anybody else? So Trump's ahead of the polls. I took a bet on him. 2000 September 2022. So, and it's not that I'm a Trump fan, by the way. I just don't think it makes a difference. I really don't. It's swapping one for the other. But what else is going on, right? So let's just pull this crap up today. In fact, what I also wanted to show, right? Because it's all in vogue now, isn't it? The World War 3 stuff. Let me see if I can bring this up. All right, that was the link before I had this vape before starting. This is where I was going with this. You guys seen that? Organised in a weird way. So here's just me typing World War 3 into my channel. It's just searching the shit I've put up. It's very hard to go through for me. Or the reading and all. And what am I looking for? See all of them. And there was like, well, that's Albert Pike. Prediction of World War 3 against the Jews. And then there's back in 2018. Videos before that, I'm assuming. Oh, there's the one. Right. I was very proud of this video at the time, man, right? Because I was ball deep at like fucking watching all the news for everywhere really relentlessly. And I'm like, fucking hell, it's kicking off in every corner of the fucking globe. And then when you do scratch underneath the circus, you're like, hold on, it isn't a fucking terrorist versus fucking good guy. It's fucking, there's a lot more going on, but if you scratch beneath the circus, there is far more going on. And when was that? What date was that? Look, that's 2010 years ago. See, I told you it was a clear, over 10 years ago, actually, fuck me. Over 10 years ago, fuck me. I told you it was a clairvoyant. Who? Right? But, oh shit, you just can't even see what I'm fucking showing because of the fucking camera. There was that was a clip I put up in August 2013. World War 3 is happening right on, man. I want to embarrass myself, but to check my hair out over a year ago. It's looking beautiful as ever. Oh my god, almighty Jesus Jones. That's me on my old fucking rock and roll laptop and shit, man. But point being, there's, hold on. Did me and Mike Rufero talk about World War 3? Aye. When was that? 2016. And then there's Albert Pike's bullcrap. I forgot more than I can remember. I've got a folder in there with all the stuff, the barrage of stuff that I went through. If I remember right, the story came through a Jesuit in Chile, through an old Victorian Alex Jones type. He used to travel about and come back with all these stories and shit. And then some of them were very questionable. That's my point, and I'm kind of trying to make, right? It wasn't really reliable information. It was at best ghost stories, man, fucking sprinkled with a bit of fucking fairy dust. Anyway, but this has been a long time in the making, or a long time happening. And see, do you know what I done? We'll do a similar thing here, right? Just using some YouTube clips and then we'll bounce onto the map. I love maps. I'll get fucking lost in the map. I really will. Right, but what I'm trying to do is find this button. These fucking glasses are the worst for fucking... Right, so what I'd done in that video was just basically use film Google Earth and go around the world like that, right? This is all the fucking war zones that's actually happening, and I was like, how long? 22 minutes, just going round the world. Like, well, look, it's kicking off here. It's kicking off here. It's kicking off here. It's not really what it looks like. And what was happening 10, 11 years ago was that it was like Iraq or Libya and all that shit, wasn't it? It was kicking off everywhere. This was before Syria, Ukraine, and let's scratch beneath the surface between all the behind all these fucking bullcraps. In fact, you don't even need to scratch beneath the circus here. They've got it fucking ingrained, insane in the membrane and this shit, right? What's happening in Ukraine? The big bad Russians are coming in and killing the Ukrainians. There was a democratically elected fucking leader called Yanukovych who was going to swing one way towards European Union, aka gear the Ukraine economy, which is massive, in particular fucking commodities, towards the European Union, or they were going to do it towards the Russian Federation. So Ukraine was caught in a tug of war between these two entities. Yanukovych was democratically elected, and fucking Maidan happened, which was Yanukovych was going to side with the Russian Federation. As soon as that happened, Maidan happened, which was all funded by Western NGOs to kick out the big bad Yanukovych because he was big and bad, which in reality was because he was siding with them, not us. They kicked him out, took over that country, and then there's been a kind of, they've been stuck in a tug of war since then. Because the Russians digged in, the pro-Europeans digged in, and East Europe's fucked up. In the evening, Magic Magnets, Hastings as well, man. Albert Pike, ever check out Michelle Cotton's Piper, a Forgotten Hero. Would have been huge if he was around today. I need to check that out, mate. Never checked it out, to be honest. It doesn't ring a bell anyway. So that's what's happening in Ukraine. So if you scrub away, it's the West versus Russia Federation happening in the West, happening in Ukraine. What was happening inside Syria was that Mind Assad was trying to get painted as the new Hitler. He was gassing folk and all that. And then the info war really kicked in. That's when the truth or industrial complex really had an influence on public opinion. In fact, that's when I think the West was starting to realise how much an influence the Tinterweb communities, the conspirator communities, the truth or industrial complex communities had in the public opinion. And then Russia won that war. They're going nowhere in Ukraine anytime fast. They've turned it into a war of nutrition. Is that what they call it? I think I might be getting that wrong. But it's basically when you try and starve the other fucking mob out, Russia's in a better position. We're sitting over here getting our knickers wet about post office shit. And the UK government just goes, there's a couple of bill fucking Ukraine battering. No cunt batters and eyelids because of fucking postage stamps. And that's not to subtract for how fucked up that situation is. But has anybody got a feeling that the people, they've been keeping that on the back burner for when fucking they need to fucking keep the public distracted? That's what I'm thinking. It's just, well, fucking Israel's Palestine, Gaza, that one speaks for itself. Lebanon's now fucking talking about stepping out into the plate. Not to forget Lebanon fucking, I'm not mistaken, borders Syria. The Russians kicked out the fucking West in Syria. It's messed. There is a world war going on, man. Like apart from fucking Eskimos, who I'm pretty sure are beating up seals or some shit. So there's some global warriors up there. Taiwan. This is massive. In fact, I've got a clip up there which I'll play soon. Because this is just recently hot off the press, which happened in Taiwan. If you don't know the back fucking story of Taiwan, go and find out. It's basically a fucking American enclave. A Chinaman. This is just things off the top of me. This is what I done on the fucking that video I was showing you. It's just going around the Google Earth. Like, fuck, look, burning here, burning there, burning here, burning there. You know, there was less wars and less areas in World War One and World War Two. Nah, I'm being serious. During World War One and World War Two, the war, like, maybe it's a good thing. The war was more concentrated, but the war, there wasn't the world wasn't burning. There wasn't a war in every fucking. There wasn't a fire in every neighbourhood. It was a controlled burn back then. No, it's just fucking blah, blah, blah. Anywho, just even try to think of things that. Well, America speaks for itself. They're at war with themselves right now, aren't they? Society's at war with itself because it's polarised, so it's tore apart. So there's no coming together to fight a common enemy. So fuck, lean yourself open with your legs open like that. Don't fuck me! Please don't fuck me! That will pull your legs a fucking together. Might make it a bit harder. No! But my left doesn't break my right! Ah! Well, you're fucked then, hen. Probably a bad analogy, maybe a good one, but it's certainly a funny one. But that's what's happening, man. Every cunt's getting polarised, left, right, centre, man, and it's just leaving the fucking vagina ready for fucking pounding without no protection. So buckle up, buttercup. But anyway. Yeah. Oh, Yemen. Fucking forgot about Yemen. Here's a thing that people might not know about the geographical fucking chessboard. See, like, you know that wee Gulf of Aden? The tip of fucking Yemen that's right next to Africa, right? The place that's closest to Yemen is called Djibouti. That's the biggest drone base, the biggest United States drone base outside America. Think about it, because that it patrols the Red Sea. I say for obvious reasons. That's why fucking. I meant to look into that the other day. When was the Suez Canal constructed? But fucking, I don't know if any of you guys or gals out there have watched the Napoleon yet. That's on, I think it's Apple TV or some shit. You can buy and rent it and that. Or you can illegally download it if you're that persuasion. Immense. I loved it, man. I thought it was fucking fan-fucking-dad. It was right up my street. Right up my street. And here's the thing as well, right? And I put this forward over 10 years ago. If you're going to go and listen to it, please block out the wee bit in the corner, man. Looking at your fucking self while time's gone by ain't good. But anyway, I said this back then as well. World War One and World War Two was dressed up in nation warfare. See, this one, it's all proxy after proxy after proxy after proxy, predominantly propagated by corporate interests, not national interests. Do you know what I mean? Like, listen to this for a giraffe. So I can't remember where it was. The mainstream media, some sort of a fucking news report, and they're talking about what's happening with the Houthis in the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea and the Suez, and they're talking about how this boat. And this is how much IKEA has made it into people's hearts. The mainstream media is using it to pull your heartstrings. And they reported that a fucking one of IKEA's cargo ships had to reroute around the Horn of Africa. And then he started talking about the cost of living and the cost of shipping and all that. Right, this is the funny thing. the graph that they showed of the cost of shipping was like way up here, maybe like 2-3 years ago. And then it was like way down there, like fucking, I don't know, 6 months ago. And then it went up a ball here and they're like, look, it's making the cost of shipping going up. And then they're threatening you with a gun at your head. Do you want your IKEA? You want your fucking plastic? You want your fucking plastic? Accept the shit that's going on. Just sit down, shut up and sit in your plastic fucking seat and enjoy your fucking flat pack furniture, you prick. It was hilarious, man. Absolutely hilarious. But that's what it's fucking boiled down to, man. They're talking about fucking shipping lanes and not being able to get your IKEA furniture. That's news. So what else is happening in the world, right? It's Canada at war with the fucking penguins, but I hear they beat up seals. Fuckers. I don't. But I do hear they beat up seals, which is really, really bad. Very, 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 very bad. Right. I'm going to click on a button. And then I'm going to go and look at some of this stuff. So, shit, that's not the button I want to push. Neither is that, but it can work. Come on, man. That's not it. There, that's it. So these are just some things that I pulled up today. US tanker seized, shown on Iranian state TV. That was 3 years ago. How do you like those apples? Shit. So, how's America going to respond? Now, in fact, let's listen to the clip because it's very interesting, man. Because what you'll find is it's in response to America doing the exact same shit thing.
Iranian state TV on Friday broadcast clips of what it said were Iranian naval forces seizing a US tanker in the Gulf of Oman. The seizure of the St. Nicholas earlier on Thursday is at the center of a major dispute between Washington and Tehran and may likely stoke regional tensions. The tanker was carrying Iraqi crude destined for Turkey. Vessel tracking software shows its course. The tanker turned off its AIS tracking system as it turned toward an Iranian port. U.S. authorities seized the St. Nicholas last year in a sanctions operation and when it had sailed under a different name, Suez Rajan. Tehran says its action Thursday was in retaliation for that earlier U.S. conflict.
So the Iranians stole it back. Did you hear that? Listen up. The Iranians stole it back.
As it turned toward an Iranian port. U.S. authorities seized the St. Nicholas last year in a sanctions operation and when it had sailed under a different name, Suez Rajan.
So the Americans seized it as part of sanctions and the fucking Iranians rocked up and stole it back. And now it's on Reuters like, US tanker seizure shown on Iranian TV. Did anybody hear that? Or was it just me? The International Criminal Justice Court convict Israel. No chance, mate. Is that no rigged the same way the United Nations is? If you get me. You know, there's the main people that had the most amount of guns, bombs and bullets at the end of World War II. They fucking decide everything, really. Nah, no chance, mate. I wish they would, but I don't think it will happen. They're too good a human shield and a standing army for the Christians to hold, to keep control of Jerusalem. That's just my crazy ass belief. But anyway, let's get back to the Iranians stealing their shit back.
Tehran says its action Thursday was in retaliation for that earlier U.S. confiscation. The seizure coincides with weeks of attacks by Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi militias targeting Red Sea shipping routes. White House now.
That isn't real footage. That's training footage. That's training footage. I'm sick of this.
Names Suez Rajan. Tehran says its action Thursday was in.
Like, am I the only one that can like decipher these fucking cunts' codes, or is it just that so fucking obvious? How can that guy hide the fact that America stole this off Iran and they stole it back? Undermined, this is part of an international dispute between Iran and America. Wait, you mean Iran's pissed off that America stole their shit? And now America's I'm fucking like, oh, why did you steal stuff back? Oh my lord and lord. And then this footage, and listen, the guy never clarifies what it is, where it comes from. They just show it while talking about Houthis attacking ships on the Red Sea. They never say this is footage of Houthis attacking on the Red Sea. They never mention that, so they're manipulating you without telling you that, without lying to you. Listen.
For that earlier U.S. confiscation. The seizure coincides with weeks of attacks by Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi militias targeting Red Sea shipping routes. White House National Security.
See? That isn't footage of them attacking ships, because by all reports, what they're doing is rocking up the ships and throwing a few fucking grenades or rocket-propelled grenades or whatever at the ships. They ain't boarding ships and taking control. They're not. But they show this fucking training footage, which does the rounds on Arab TV in that context, and people's heads go there. Oh, look what they're doing on the Red Sea! You know, so you get a false narrative. Because if you knew the truth, you wouldn't swallow the shite.
Security spokesperson John Kirby condemned.
Oh, he's a creepy looking motherfucker.
The Iranian government should immediately release the ship and its crew. These provocative and unacceptable actions need to stop. We'll continue to work with our allies and partners to deter and confront the full range of Iran's concerning and destabilizing behavior, in close coordination, of course, with the international community.
Right, just rock up and bomb them. Right, so there's just one thing right now. Oh, here's the Taiwan thing. I want to hear this because I have not tuned into this. So this is CNN, straight for the teeth.
Voters in Taiwan shrugged off warnings from China and re-elected the ruling party for a third consecutive presidential term. It's a vote that could have major consequences for U.S. relations with China. CNN's Will Ripley has more.
History on the streets of the Taiwanese capital tonight. Thousands of people are out here listening to the first words of their new president-elect, Lai Ching-te, and their vice president-elect, Xiaobi Kim. This is their first press conference after confirming.
Xiaobi Kim, is that the one on the right? Are they having a fucking giraffe?
That they have accepted their election win. The two opposition parties, the parties that were considered friendlier to China, both conceded earlier in the evening on Saturday. The election results came through relatively quickly, just a few hours after the polls closed here in Taiwan. This island democracy has...
Is that the lottery? It's like the lottery, did it?
Tallying the election results, partially because there are just 24 million people living here and nobody can vote with absentee ballots. So everybody who cast their ballots, the millions of Taiwanese who voted, actually had to do so in person in their hometowns. But a lot of people turned out. There were just under 2,000 polling sites here in Taipei alone, and there were lines at a lot of them throughout the day because of what is at stake in this election. China had told the Taiwanese people, warning them in the run-up to this election, that this was a choice between peace and war, prosperity and decline, implying that the Democratic Progressive Party, which is openly loathed by Beijing's communist leaders, is the wrong choice in China's view to lead Taiwan for the next...
Because of the Americans' puppet, man.
Not only with bellicose statements,
I mean, that's it's getting treated like an idiot by these fucks that does my pits in. It's like, who is swallowing this shite, man? All you do is need fucking 5 minutes of your time to try and figure out how the world works. Kinda.
Of Taiwan, which China has it's never ruled out, as they say, that they will eventually reabsorb this island as part of their territory, even though the communist rulers in Beijing have never actually controlled it. And of course, there's always the looming threat. But people here, the supporters of the Democratic Progressive Party, say that's exactly why they've decided to give the DPP 4 more years in Taiwan.
No, he's a spook if he's over in fucking Taiwan, I'll tell you that much.
Alignment with the United States, prioritizing military, diplomatic, and economic ties with the U.S. Is the way to protect Taiwan.
Hear the wee soundbite. The Communist Party's never been in charge of that country.
Mending fences with China, rebuilding that relationship, and recalibrating the U.S. relationship would have been the way to dial down the temperature and avoid a cross-strait conflict. But Taiwan has made its decision, a third historic.
Taiwan is historically part of China. And it was before there was such a thing as the Chinese Communist Party.
The foreign minister saying
Let's not get into that wee bit minutiae history.
that Taiwan is part of China. Let's get more now on this historic election. Bonnie Glaser is the director of the Asia program at the German Marshall Fund. So great to see you.
Asian program at the German Marshall Fund with an American accent.
Posting something
I
about
hope she speaks like a Nazi.
I thought Beijing's response was relatively moderate. They reiterated that unification is inevitable, but also said that they look forward to working with some political parties in Taiwan. Of course, that means probably every political party other than the winning Democratic Progressive Party. But there were really no new threats in the statement that was issued by the Taiwan Affairs Office in Beijing. It's probably a placeholder, so we'll have to see what steps they take in the weeks and months to come.
And the
Invasion.
Antony Blinken, says he's looking forward to working with Dr. Lei Ching-te, after Lei won the presidential election. What does that say, or how is that received if you are China?
I think that China expects nothing less than that the United States will continue to strengthen ties with Taiwan. I would also note that President Biden...
That means more guns, bombs, and bullets on their fucking soil.
Affirmation of U.S. policy that the United States does not support Taiwan independence. And that's a message that China has heard before, doesn't necessarily think that it is credible, but it's important for them to hear. And I think that it does, to some extent, reduce the possibility that they will react very.
I won't submit you too much more CNN. It's just to get an idea what the hell's going on. I don't even know if this is relevant, but
economic measures to be implemented this year were first presented by Premier Manuel Marrero during the latest session of Parliament in December. The move aims at revitalizing the Cuban economy by correcting economic distortions, updating prices, and cutting subsidies while protecting low purchasing power households. The measures
sounds good, doesn't it?
a significant price hike for gasoline beginning February the 1st, as well as of other services in the coming months. Yurian Gutierrez owns an old 1986 Soviet Lada automobile which runs 90
Lada!
liter. Filling his car's 40-liter tank currently costs him 1,200 pesos, about $9 per premium gas. But starting next month, the price for gas is expected to soar.
I understand this measure is necessary, but it will affect many car owners who cannot afford such prices. For instance, filling up my car...
Well, mate, that's old news, just different country. So it says, Houthis, is this Reuters? I think that's Reuters, isn't it? Yeah, Houthis, strong response, woohoo, yeah! Is this some... Well, that's him just after he peeked after that wee lassie.
Effective response on Saturday after the United States carried out another strike in Yemen overnight. It further heightens tensions after Washington vowed to protect shipping lanes from attacks by the Iran-aligned group. The US said its latest strike hit a radar site a day after dozens of American and British strikes on Houthi facilities in Yemen. A Houthi spokesperson told Reuters the strikes had no significant impact on the group's ability to prevent Israel-affiliated ships from passing through the Red Sea, though the Pentagon said the US-British strikes had, quote, good effects. The strikes have added to concerns about the escalation of the conflict that has spread through the region since the Palestinian militant group Hamas and Israel went to war. Iran's allies also entered the fray from Lebanon, Syria, and Iraq. The Houthis' Al Jazeera TV showed hundreds of thousands of people rallied in the Yemeni capital Sana'a, chanting slogans denouncing Israel and the United States on Friday. Residents of Yemen remain defiant in the face of further strikes. We will fight with Gaza. We will stand. Our position is clear for the US and for Britain. We don't care if our stance will lead to problems, says this man. The UN Special Envoy for Yemen on Saturday
He might have been
urged
gay.
maximum restraint by all involved in Yemen and warned of an increasingly precarious situation in the region. The Red Sea crisis added to the spread of conflict through the Middle East since Hamas militants rampaged through southern Israel on October 7th.
See, there's that footage again.
And seizing 200.
Now listen closely. They don't say what this footage that you're seeing is. They don't say what it isn't. They just talk about the Houthis attacking ships while showing you this, which, to the best of my ability to find out, is a training video. It's them showing off. That's why look how it's chopped and all that. You don't see anybody getting shot, anything going off. Just like the actors in a training exercise would go like that. Watch it. Honestly, it's such.
40 hostages.
Well, for me, it's obvious it's a mofo, right?
Since Hamas militants rampaged through southern Israel on October 7th, killing 1,200 people and seizing 240 hostages. Israel has responded by laying waste to large sections of Gaza to try to annihilate Hamas. The Gaza Health Ministry said in a statement on Saturday, a
Reuters or Al Jazeera?
843 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes on
No,
the
that's
enclave.
Reuters. Happiness, happiness. All I want to say is steak is bliss. Anyway, let's get back to the doom. So, I don't know who this is. To say I'm not familiar with this channel or where the hell this is from.
So the Houthi militants in Yemen have done a whoopsie by accidentally targeting, well, they say accidentally, targeting the Russians, their own allies. Oh dear. So they accidentally launched an attack on a
When did the Houthis start hooking up with the Ruskies?
Russian...
Although it does kind of rhyme, doesn't it? Ruskies, Houthis, there's a fucking rap in there.
Oil tanker in the Red Sea. It was initially, according to Reuters, unclear if they aborted the missile strike when they realized who they were actually targeting, because that wasn't really the plan. Putin was not really happy when he heard that news.
Where are you? Right, don't just show us the text. Where is it from? No, don't want to buy your shit. Where is the shit that you're reading from? The fact that it's just text on a screen means fuck all. Patriotic merchandise? What's that, like a fucking Union Jack for your dick? Fuck, I don't like this cunt. Right, where's this from? Where's this from? Oh, another fucking takes wee fucking cuts and pastes to one article and fucking talks behind it and everybody, oh, you're so knowledgeable. 007. Fucking fake ass motherfuckers. Hey, Paul Beagley, man, my old friend. If you want a bit of doom and gloom and apocalypse is now shit, this is your man. And the Antichrist has been revealed to him 99 million times. I got 99 problems, but the Antichrist ain't one because I've seen him hundreds of times. What? Oh, shit.
Yes, the Antichrist revealed.
Yes. Seriously.
Everybody wants to know who is the Antichrist. 666, the mark of the beast, the new world order, the world leader that brings the darkness, the kingdom of darkness upon the planet. Who is he? And what power will he have? And what characteristics is he about?
Fuck off. So look at the people that will be spreading the doom and gloom. I don't know where, I'm not going to find anyone. And then, like, it's the truth for like, if you don't think the truth or industrial complex exists, just look how it blows smoke up each other's all arses, talking about the same shit with a different nose.
When Jeffrey Epstein was indicted, immediately first thing I did is I read the indictment. That's how the difference between like these fake lawyers on Twitter and then people who actually have done real work is the first thing you do is you read the indictment. And I read the indictment and I said, you got to be kidding me, because the indictment was the most narrow behavior that you could charge up.
Right, man.
Will it be the Donald versus Uncle Joe Part 2? Probably. But this Monday, January the 15th, marks the official start of primary season in the US. So what's it actually all about? This is when individual states decide on their preferred candidate for the presidential election in November.
It's a competition between
Iowa
the states.
for the Republicans on Monday. Now, the system is conducted
And they all
through
work
either
this out
primaries or
strategically.
caucuses, depending on the state. But what's the difference? Iowa is a caucus. This means that registered Republican voters gather at kind of town hall type environments such as churches or schools at 1,700 locations across the state of Iowa. Representatives for each candidate then debate and advocate for Trump, DeSantis, etc. Finally, the voters register or caucus their preferred candidate, often by old school methods such as simply sticking your hand up in the air, and these votes are then tallied across the state of Iowa, resulting in a winner. Other states use the primary system, which runs as a regular statewide secret ballot. Simple is as simple as. So, who's likely to win the Iowa caucus? Trump is currently averaging a staggering 53% in the poll of polls. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis
bring home the money, Trumpy
in
boy.
second position on 18%. And former Trump lovey and also former US Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, is in third position on 16%.
The blue helmets will be on the tree soon. Anyway, it's interesting. But will the election happen? Happening now. Prepare! This will be the greatest event of your lifetime. Here, can I pop it for some fucking Viagra first, man? I'm 42, man. Might be in my best shape. Yes! Yeah, man! Yeah, man. Yeah, man! Too soon?
According to Houthis, the joint strikes by the US and the UK have killed 5 Yemenis and injured 6 others so far.
What's the scores? On the doors! George Stores!
Targets or not. The US Central Command says the early Saturday.
Well, way out in front is the Man City of the death world, the Palestinians. Then coming in a quick second, like Liverpool, as the Yemenis. And then in a oh no, hold on a sec. There's been an update. The Ruskies are coming in. Oh, the count is growing. We can also throw the fucking Ukrainians and Syrians in there. And we can give me some time. And I will work out the league table. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Attack hits the radar infrastructure near the Yemeni capital Sana'a. But regarding the Houthis' determination to continue their own attacks, they say the quote ruthless aggression would not deter Yemen from supporting the oppressed Palestinian people. The Houthis have confirmed that Yemeni armed forces would continue efforts to confront and prevent the movement of Israeli or any other ships destined for occupied ports in Palestine, whether from the Red Sea or the Arabian Sea. Therefore, we can expect the escalation of clashes in the Red Sea. Back to you, London.
Well, Ehsan, I wonder if you can tell us what the reaction has been from Iran.
That would be a no.
Reactions as the Houthis are
But I'm not actually shagging here. I'm trying to get the wheels in my chair proper.
allied forces for Iran, in fact, and naturally Iran's response was to condemn the attacks. The Iranian condemned the attacks. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson Nasser Kanani slammed the United Nations Security Council resolution 2722.
Just to interrupt that doom and gloom, there's a China won't tolerate separatist activities. Taiwan elections key to the future relationship with China.
But again, let's see what happens over the next few months.
And it's that Scottish chipmunk. Important.
Let's move on to the Middle East. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has declared in a televised address that nothing will stop Israel pursuing the war in Gaza.
Hear that?
That's including the International Court of Justice in The Hague. For 2 days now, the United
There's your question answered, buddy.
had a case lodged by South Africa
taking
alleging that Israel was committing genocide against the Palestinians. That's something that Israel strongly denies. This is what Prime Minister Netanyahu said earlier.
No one will stop us. Not The Hague, not...
Oh, and they've gave him a fucking Scottish accent. Fuck yous. Right, right, that's the last one there. So what I can do is do my TV, my BBC. I've got a TV license, y'all.
Address that nothing will stop Israel pursuing the war in Gaza. And that's including the International Court of Justice in The Hague. For 2 days now, the United
World
Nations
War III live, yo.
had a case lodged by South Africa alleging that Israel was committing genocide against the Palestinians. That's something that Israel strongly denies. This is what Prime Minister Netanyahu said earlier.
No one will stop us. Not The Hague, not the axis of evil, and no one else. The hypocritical attack at The Hague...
The axis of evil, that's been used.
The ashes of the Holocaust.
You need to get up, you need to create a new one, man.
To commit another Holocaust on the Jews. This attack is a moral low in the history of nations.
Got to throw the Holocaust in there, didn't he?
Well, let me bring you some live pictures now. This is the scene live in Tel Aviv where thousands, including families of the hundreds of hostages, still being held in Gaza. Right now, that figure is at about 130, are rallying for 24 hours to mark 100 days of war with Hamas. That's a countdown to the 100-day figure, and that'll be on Sunday. Now, Israel is keeping up its bombardment of Gaza in the meantime, with the crowded southern cities of Rafah and Khan Yunis bearing the brunt of the attack.
23,843. How many 9/11s is that?
1,843 Palestinians in total have now been killed in Israeli strikes
5 or 6
since October.
5 or 6 9/11s. 5 or 6 9/11s. 5 or 6 9/11s. 5 or 6 9/11s.
Palestinian civilians displaced from northern Gaza to return there, but that's only once there is no danger to them from the fighting with Hamas. These are the latest images from Beit Hanun in northern Gaza, and as you can see, it's been reduced to absolute ruins. Here's how the United Nations Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs, Martin Griffiths, described the situation in northern Gaza to the Security Council.
That is World War II level shit.
From my office.
That's fucking Saving Private fucking Abdul.
In recent days.
Shit, man.
Scenes of utter horror. Corpses. Dead people left.
Saving Private Abdul, man. That's level. That's fucking World War II level shit, man.
Anything they can get to survive. And even if people were able to return home to the north.
What are they returning back
We know from the statistics of buildings destroyed, many no longer have homes to go to.
Well, earlier I spoke to Dr. James Smith in London. He's an emergency physician associated with medical aid for Palestinians, and he just returned from Deir al-Balah. It's an area in central Gaza, and he only returned a few days ago. He gave me his reaction to the possible return of Palestinians to northern Gaza.
Who's getting blamed for all this? The Jews, not the Zionist fucking elements, and who created it? Who created it? Lord Balfour.
Living in refugee camps in Lebanon, and so on and so forth.
Mental, man. Mental. See, after this World War, watch the way that area of land will change yet again, ever so slightly.
For them to do so.
You know the Great War? Need to rebrand. World War II. They come back. Don't come back! A fucking another war with attitude! Gonna kill fucking mother and more niggas and fucking platitudes! Don't know. Jews and platitudes, I should have said.
And this is something that should be done.
And World War III is going to be the fucking Abduls, isn't it?
When it comes to calls for a ceasefire, Israel maintains its right to self-defense.
Just saying.
After the events of October 7th, that's what they'd say to that. But I also want to ask you...
What did it happen, man? 23,000. A good start, isn't it?
Seen the
let's round it up. Let's round it up to 24.
What have you witnessed?
How many Abduls were killed in Syria?
There are very few.
How many's getting pummeled in Yemen?
Throughout the Gaza Strip.
How many would get took out in Libya?
Myself and colleagues, not only from Medical Aid for Palestinians, but also the International Rescue Committee, were working in Al-Aqsa Hospital in the middle area of the Gaza Strip. We would receive, on any given day, hundreds of patients.
Right, that's enough for that, isn't it? That's just enough death and destruction for one night, man.
Israeli ground invasion or Israeli aerial bombardment.
Right, where are the buttons here?
Those.
It is fucking ridiculous, though, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. So let's have a wee look what else is happening, right? So yeah, man. Right, so we know we've touched on what's going on in Yemen. Missiles filled with water, this sounds good. Oh, this is China Uncovered. A satirical comedy thing that just popped up with an American dude that all of a sudden has an interesting fucking thing, mate. And he looks like fucking a Man in Black. It is really funny.
China's military seems like one of the most.
But he's no anti-China propaganda now.
An invasion of Taiwan could happen anytime. But unbridled
yeah, baby.
Means Taiwan is probably pretty safe.
I think we should get Sylvester Stallone on board because he does the best fucking sequels, man.
Modernizing its military. China now has the biggest navy in the world. Yes, bigger than the U.S. War games have predicted the U.S. would lose a war with China. And we've heard predictions that China could invade Taiwan as early as this year. What do you think? Well, you could actually play this war game out with today's sponsor, Conflict of Nations. In this game, you get to come up with strategies, build an army, and fight in battles to dominate your opponent.
That's real.
Conflict of Nations is a free...
Man, that is the world in which we fucking stay, baby. That's why China's going to fucking... Everybody's looking at the fucking Abdul and the fucking boat, man, and Chinaman's going to rock in like... Oh, fucking chop your heat off with a meat cleaver, man. It's a good... but here, let's talk about the world ending, and here's my sponsor, a game called The World's Gonna End. But that's almost as scandalous as Alex Jones fucking making you limp dick through fear and then selling you boner pills.
Player versus player online strategy game, which you can play on your computer or mobile device. You get to pick a real country to represent as you fight to win World War III.
Russia.
You build up your military-industrial complex, do research and development, and build weapons, just like China's People's Liberation Army is doing in real life, which I'll get to in this episode. In Conflict of Nations, though, you get to actually fight, which I hope you won't have to do in real life. At any rate, check out the game. Conflict of Nations has a special gift for China Uncensored viewers. Click the link below and get 13,000 gold, plus 1 month of premium subscription for free.
Hurry up, man.
But the offer is only available for 30 days in Army. Then you're only seeing one piece of it. So let's talk about the PLA, the People's Liberation Army. It's not the Chinese government's military. It's a branch of the Chinese Communist Party. That makes the PLA primarily an ideological organization, and it's riddled with corruption. Stay tuned, because in a moment I'll tell you some truly shocking examples of what this corruption has done to China's military.
See, Men in Black,
here's how we know about this corruption. Earlier last year, we learned about the purge of several top-ranking generals in the PLA rocket force, the ones in charge of China's nukes. Always comforting knowing the guys with the nukes are corrupt. Then, China purged Li Shangfu, China's defense minister. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. China closed out 2023 with a massive purge of high-ranking military personnel. At least 70 were arrested in China's rocket force. This includes at least 9 Chinese generals and 3 Chinese defense technology officials. I'll put their names up on screen for anyone who's interested in those nitty-gritty details. And yet, according to Hong Kong media Singtao Daily, even that is still just the tip of the iceberg. They say the PLA rocket force leadership
Hong
has
Kong
almost been
Daily.
wiped out.
Go and figure out where Hong Kong is.
Missiles have been found filled with water instead of fuel. I'll tell you more after the break. Welcome back.
Break.
China's military is riddled with corruption. The most recent purges give us a clue, but it could be way worse than we think. That's because CCP authorities have stopped releasing military anti-corruption information since the 19th Party Congress in 2017. Ah yes, the time-tested strategy of simply not reporting on problems. That's what they did with youth unemployment too. But this is very good news. According to U.S. intelligence sources, speaking to Bloomberg, the corruption inside China's rocket force and throughout the nation's defense industrial base is so extensive that U.S. officials now believe Xi is less likely to contemplate major military action in the coming years than would otherwise have been the case. So while Xi Jinping talks about invading Taiwan constantly, it's very unlikely that or any other military action will happen anytime.
That's right.
Now,
Leader of China talks about invading Taiwan, America, constantly.
No, that's not what's happening here. The U.S. assessment cited several examples of the impact of graft, including missiles filled with water instead of fuel, and vast fields of
that was some fucking quite explosive water.
Lids that don't function in a way that would allow the missiles to launch effectively. That's why the latest purges, which are the biggest in modern Chinese military history. This is a huge blow to Xi, who has invested billions into China's military, particularly the rocket force, with the stated goal of having a modern military by 2027. It's also a hit to his credibility. Just this month, Xi gave a speech saying he scored an overwhelming victory in the fight against corruption. But it sure seems like corruption isn't going away. Almost as if it's a fundamental part of the communist system. Because this didn't start with Xi. Back when Jiang Zemin, or one of his people, was in charge, it was common for officers to bribe their way up the ranks and engage in other corrupt activities for personal profit. So China cannot fight a war now. Besides corruption, China's stagnating.
That doesn't happen over here,
money for
actually.
Xi's military modernization. But Xi's latest military purge could backfire big time. According to Sino Insider, a risk consultancy that specializes in elite Chinese politics, panicked, active, and retired senior military officials could come to believe that they must move against Xi to save their skin. So China could be involved in a war, just a civil war. And this episode is sponsored by Conflict of Nations, because when it comes to war, you never know what's going to happen. And when you play Conflict of Nations, you'll see.
That guy's fucking hilarious, man. Here's the pro-Palestinian stuff in London. Is that shit, man? This is for the Daily Record. You can see the wee line rampant. What's this staff? Oh, fuck. Let's see how long they last. This is a Guardian. Nah, sorry man, no offence, I'm out. I went to sleep tonight and it's nearly 10:30. I love this dude, man. Right, imagine when I speak to Tinkerbell tonight, I get the magic code and a pill that everybody can take and COVID just goes away overnight. What's he going to talk about? Just saying. I think he's out there spreading fucking COVID fibres into the air because he needs it to continue. What the fuck was that? I can't remember, but it was... Right. Are you allowed to question the motives of these people? Would they be doing it without a camera on them? Would this be happening without a camera on them? Do you know? Would they be doing it without the cam? And would the cam be filming them? I don't know if you know what I mean. What came first, the chicken or the egg? It's obviously a good thing because fucking, is that homeless people? Aye. Because he's handing out stuff to the homeless. Who can complain about that? No cunt. No cunt, no cunt, no cunt, no cunt, no cunt. Just like... but anyway, good on him. Plus, fuck you, because you always like there's videos like that I get when I'm on the crack cocaine of social media. And I'm like, oh, look. A little one-tooth Bill. Oh, I didn't want to give you other before. Anyway, doomsday scenario. What is the WEF, World Economic Fund? Right, I hate listening to YouTube people speaking about economics. It means they probably don't really know much about it, to be quite frank. And there's the Trump top of the bill, top of the polls for the caucuses or whatever. What was it? Iowa caucus. And we found out what a caucus was. And I put it was September 2022. 2022. I stuck a wee fiver on Trump to win the presidency. So I'm a clairvoyant. Anyway, what could I do? I could do that. And then just see what's if there's any new doom and bloody gloom. Let's see. Watch again, marching on Washington or Gaza. What happens in London happens in Washington. You know, just like they've got the Mexicans, we've got the brown people in boats. UFC, PBS, extreme winter conditions, Snap, travel documentaries, Arctic storms, bad weather, you all. Look, Radowski on the campaign trail with Vivek. Oh, I don't even care. Crimes of Cambodian leader. Link to the Nazis. Maltese smoking dude. Stay in your lane. Queen slipped away in her sleep. Have a Gemini. Go to Davos. To shout at them. Give me money and I can go. Let's get the £1,000 fucking suit. Anyway, that's been over an hour and a half. So I'm going to see if I can push a button here. Maybe do that over there. And just say thanks everybody that's joined. If you do enjoy this kind of stuff, stick a wee thumbs up. It is much appreciated. I'm not trying to get all doom and gloom on people's asses. That happens enough everywhere. I'm begging the question because it's everywhere else, and I'm pointing out it's like fucking don't worry about it, man. It's been happening for fucking 10 years now. And the way modern warfare is, it is the info war, it is compartmentalized. And so it's compartmentalized and mechanized to an extent where they don't need cannon fodder anymore. What they need is people still turning the cogs of industry. And I certainly ain't going to go and fight in any wars. But it is fucking... Things are getting turned up to 11. But things were getting turned up to 11 10 years ago. But we have had a pandemic and getting ripped to shreds and their cost of living going up through the roof. No one can fucking afford to eat and heat and all kinds of fucking crazy jazz. So, I used to say as well, like, see, the cost of living thing. It wasn't a cost of living, it was rationing. Just by Jedi mind tricks. No, by manipulation. By smoke and mirrors. You're getting hot with rations up the back pooper, the back door, and you don't know it. But thanks everybody that will watch this, has watched this, and whatnot. Stick a wee thumbs up, sub up, bell up, and all that stuff, and hopefully get notifications. I'm still hungry, so I'm going to go and try and make myself something to eat. You have a great weekend, or whatever's left of it. Election doesn't mean democracy, I know, mate, but democracy doesn't mean... I'm more fan of elections than democracy. Democracy allows everybody to step up to the plate. It should be like a fucking football competition. You knock every cunt out and the last man standing controls the roost for a wee bit. Instead of all this watered down bullshit that you can't get anything done because it's like... Every cunt's complaining because they'll get a fucking fandan at the table. But that's just my personal opinion. Some would say a fascist or dictator. Anywho, have a good one, y'all, and I'll hopefully catch you next time, alright? Have a nice one. Clips. And remember, citizens, always subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. And $19.95 plus shipping and handling will keep you out of hell.